Welcome, boys and girls, to another episode of LEGTV. As you can see, not at the studio this week, working from home. Just got back from vacation. Boy, there's a lot of laundry to do. And I'm celebrating 43 years, God bless, on this earth. Still breathing, still commissioning, still playing fantasy football, and bringing this show to you on a weekly basis. I'm your host, John David Brake. Let's see what happened while I was away. Let's go to the scores. Let's start with the absolute beatdown and the return to dominance. Now in first place, my Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All puts up 217 points against Modelo Virus, only scoring 90, mainly because Jaden Daniels went down with an injury, and Devontae Smith with only 0.8 points. But Saquon, 31, Derrick Henry, 30, Amon-Ra, 27. However, Chris Godwin is out forever, unfortunately. Working from Mahomes gets another win and is now 5-2 over Joe's lost 4 in a row. Jordy Love, 24 points, and James Conner chipped in with 22, and Dicker the Kicker, 21. Cortland Sutton, 0. Josh Allen, 28. Good. Josh Jacobs, 20. Clock Gobblers also got their second win of the season, 162-159, barely holding on thanks to Kareem Hunt and Bijan Robinson scoring 22 each, and Darnold had a nice game. Breece Hall with a nice game, 28 for Anu, but Lawrence and Drake London couldn't keep it together. Dan Nickel goes down, formerly in first place, to Purdy Little Liars with a huge win off the back of Joe Mixon and David Njoku and Joe Burrow. DK Metcalf did have 19 points, but left injured. Kyron did have 20 points, and for some reason, Dan started Anthony Richardson, 6 points. Dak Street Boys look out all the way to second place, 5-2 with a 171-102 beatdown over Mick. Mostert with 2 points. Garrett Wilson, Purdy, meh. But Lamar Jackson, MVP, 46 points. Unbelievable performance. Rock ya bitches, a 169-109 win over Fields of Gold. Dave gets the pig win thanks to Jamar Gibbs with 34 points. Justin Jefferson with 21 for Nick, but CJ Stroud also injured, getting him 5 points, and Jameson Williams only 0.5 points, and is also suspended by the league. So not looking good for the old Shookster. He loses Nico, and now Jameson Williams. We're all feeling the injury bug. I lost Chris Godwin. Don't need to go into that, as I am still very butthurt that the number 2 overall wide receiver is now done for the year for me. However, there are some very important games. I'm back in first place, and there's a very pivotal 5-2 game, and we have very special guests for this week's rundown for the Week 8 matchups. As you can see, not filming in the studio today. We're working from home.
You mean that's a fake background?
That is not a virtual background. That is a lot of laundry. My gosh. What's up, Mr. Barris? Welcome to the show for the 2024 season. Currently in what, third place?
Yeah, shocker. Especially with McCaffrey being out.
McCaffrey. That's what I want to talk to you about. How surprised are you? Actually, it's fourth place. Sorry. You're 5-2 in fourth place. Your first pick,
I'm shocked.
Number 1 overall pick, has been out.
I was devastated. I felt so lied to because he said like, oh yeah, if I were to play this Sunday, I would do it. But yeah, so that's why I picked him, and then he's just been out forever. So
yeah. Oh, that's cool. Sorry, I'm like messing with a lot of things here.
That's okay.
No, glad it's really great to be a 49ers fan right now. Apparently God hates the 49ers.
I know.
Ayuk done. Debo had pneumonia and had to go to the hospital, and Christian McCaffrey's been out forever, and just like there's so many
Kittle has a foot, Conley's ankle.
Oh, yes. Dude, nothing was worse. Well, we'll get into my distaste for my injuries that I'm now finally getting. But no wonder I had the volume turned down so low. Okay, Mr. Barris. So you're doing great. You were in the Hoffa final last year. Now you're all the way in fourth place, 5-2, sitting pretty. Is there anything specific that you attribute those 5 wins here early on the first 7 weeks?
I think it's a lot of luck. Again, not having my first round pick. Um, I think that definitely hurt. Just getting lucky with the matchup. Some of the guys,
Is a
googly
donut.
eyes.
Is a donut monster. I'm the donut monster. I'm eating him.
Are those birthday donuts?
It is. Sorry. Continue. I'm in a
No.
goofy mood, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I think really just a lot of luck. Everybody's been dealing with injuries,
Yeah.
getting some matchups that went my way. So yeah, I think it all in all to be in the position I'm in, it's just pure luck. I shouldn't be where I'm at, that's for sure.
All right. You still got some good players in your team, man. I would fantasy football is a lot of luck. Not
Yep.
all luck, but there's some. Um some more than others. We'll when we get to mixed team, we'll talk about unlucky.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Um this is from Maki Nut. It's like those rice donuts. They're so good.
Ooh.
It's a birthday donut. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and we're gonna oops, what we're gonna dive in. We're gonna, as you know, we do the rundown for all the matchups this week.
Yep.
Bringing on a 5-2 team is a good get because clearly they know something about this season in fantasy football. So I want to get your expertise. I'm going to run down the rosters
Sure.
of the matchups, and I want to get your expert opinion on who you think is going to win. Are you ready to do this, Mr. Bears?
I am ready. Let's do it.
Well, who do you play this week, Mr. Bears?
I play the birthday boy, the donut monster.
I'm a donut monster. Oh, this is dark. This is
Mr.
great.
JD Greg.
Why have I done this before? Yes, you and I are going up against each other. That's why I want to bring you on. So, I'm in first place again, back where I belong. Did suffer a devastating injury to the number 2 overall receiver, Chris Godwin. So I got to plug a hole. My team, all I had to do was worry about who I wanted in the flex. And it was an embarrassment of riches here. And now I'm in trouble. Now I need a wide receiver too. And let's go to that roster. I'm the top scoring team for a reason because of Derrick Henry.
Oh,
Saquon Barkley.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is actually not as good as he usually is, but he's up there.
Yep.
And one of the I think the second overall tight end, or the number 1 tight end, Brock Bowers, in all of football, the rookie there, who I wanted the Colts to draft. And Jalen Hurts, not a bad pick. He's not even my best quarterback. Baker Mayfield's the number 1 overall quarterback, and he's on my bench. I never get to play him because I'm so scared to trust him. And now I really can't trust him because Chris Godwin's out.
Yep.
Mike Evans is out.
Right.
So there's what I'm looking at here. So obviously the big 4, Hurts, Brown, Henry, and Barkley. Those are the solid ones. I'm going to have to go with George Pickens, who's playing Monday night against the Giants. Now that Russ is playing quarterback, maybe that makes a difference. I don't know.
It's a good matchup. Yeah.
It's a good matchup because the Giants do give up some points. They're in the bottom, I think, quarter of the NFL and giving up fantasy points to wide receivers and Chase Brown in the flex. So now Chase Brown's taken over that lead back finally, so not a bad flex play. But looking at your team, you have struck gold with the Packers, Jordan Love, and Jaden Reed combination.
Yes.
And Jaden Reed, I mean, he's your flex guy. And he's easily probably your best receiver.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Easily. But you've got Zay Flowers. Now, Zay Flowers, he's a little banged up.
Banged up,
may not
ankle.
go.
Yeah.
I think he will, though. I think he will play. And Jordan Addison is a nice backup. I mean, Sam Darnold, this just proves if you have good receivers, that lifts up any quarterback, you know? Sam Darnold is playing like an all-pro right now. So even though Justin Jefferson's the number 1 guy there, Addison's a nice backup. James Conner and Madison there at the running backs. Now, I want to get to your tight end opinion. How's it feel to have Travis Kelce on your team this year?
It sucks.
Wow.
I had Kittle last year, and he was kind of doing the same thing. But I mean, this year Kittle's been at least the second part, yeah, he's been rocking and rolling. So,
When he's healthy.
yeah, that was a bit of a reach, I believe.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, girl, it's JD in Paris.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
But yeah, I would say that was a reach for me, Kelsey.
Well, I mean, you're not the only one. I mean, a lot of people were picking Kelsey at that spot, so you're kind of your hands were tied at that point. So,
Yeah.
given the roster rundown, Yahoo has me favored to win. They're taking me to win 151 to 142.
Yeah.
I want to get your opinion. Who's taking it, and what player is going to get you there?
Yeah. Well, okay. So you are gonna destroy me, and I mean your running back core is just so talented, and then you have a great complementary cast around them. I think you're easily gonna win this. Yeah.
Wow, very humble picking against yourself. I like that. Very
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that big of a blowout, to be honest. I think it's going to be a lot closer. I think I'm going to be watching the Monday night game hoping George Pickens gets like a catch.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like fourth quarter, and I'm going to be like, why aren't you throwing the ball, Russ Wilson, to George Pickens? I think it's going to be very, very close. But just because of the running backs and the receivers there, I like your Jordan Love, Jaden Reed combination is tops. That's what's going to keep it close.
Yeah.
But I think I will edge just a little bit
so
this
too.
week.
Yeah. I mean, you've been putting up over 200 points, 180, 220, or yeah, crazy. And I've been skating by with like 160, 180, 140. Yeah.
It's okay. You're a 5-2, baby. You just got to make those playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy.
Anything can happen. Hi puppy. Let's go to the next game. This is a pretty exciting game because Nickel to Nickel, who was in number one for a couple weeks, he's dropped two in a row, now down to third place, taking on the defending champ, Rakievicius, and this is projected to be a very, very close matchup with Plow getting the edge from Yahoo by a couple points. So if we look at the roster here, Dan's got to go with Dak Prescott because he waited for a quarterback. No, he's stuck there. Now, here's where it gets intriguing. Tyreek Hill. Okay, he's been worthless without Tua.
Agreed.
Tua is supposed to return.
Oh, is he coming back?
He is coming back against everyone's medical wishes and common sense. He's coming back. It's not for sure that he's going to start, but he's either going to start this week or the next one, and that immediately puts Tyreek Hill right back up to top three.
Definitely.
What Dan's been needing. T. Higgins is actually seeing a lot of volume in Cincinnati. I mean, just the last 4 games, we've seen double digits, 12, 29, 14, and 18. Again, he's not the lead dog. It's Jamar Chase, who's the number 1 overall receiver, but there's plenty of balls to go around with Joey Burrow throwing it. Now, here's what I liked his running backs a lot. David Montgomery and Kyron Williams. David Montgomery now looks like he might be taking a back seat to Jamar Gibbs. So we shall see. And funny enough, he's playing on the other side on Plow's team. So that will be a very intriguing matchup. I think that's what it comes down to, honestly. I'll just spoil it there. I think it's going to be who does better, Montgomery or Gibbs. I don't like Dan's tight end or his flex. I think, he's starting Jalen McMillan just because Godwin's out and possibly Mike Evans. But I think this is going to be a nasty game. I don't think he'll get the production he wants. So let's go over to Plow real quick. Again, Patrick Mahomes, I say it every single game. Like, when is he coming back? Like, when's the Patrick Mahomes? I
went through that last year.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. That was the story last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only scored over 20 points once.
Yeah.
I was
expecting like 30 when I drafted him number 1 overall last year.
Yeah.
And just constant disappointment. Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, black and white. Yeah, so we're waiting for Patrick Mahomes to come back, and he's got Scary Terry at wide receiver with Cooper Kupp, who is slated to come back. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if Plow is aware or not. it's not like Cooper Kupp is just going to run 100% of the snaps. Like they're going to kind of probably ease him in just a little bit.
Especially if they're going to trade him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Want him to get hurt. Yeah.
I think he goes to Tampa Bay, to be honest. I think he goes to Tampa Bay.
Makes sense.
They're in the hunt, and they need a wide receiver bad. James Cook there at the running back and Gibbs. Those running backs are almost a wash for me. Like I said, it's going to come down to the running backs this game because their tight ends are worthless. Kyle Pitts, garbage. Jameson Williams is boom or bust, and it's against Carolina, and they're probably going to run the ball a lot. So again, back to the Detroit quandary. Is it going to be the David Montgomery show? Is it going to be the Jahmyr Gibbs show? I actually think Dan wins it this week based on Tyreek Hill and Tua, if Tua plays. If Tua doesn't play, I think Plow wins this one. What do you think?
Yeah, that's where I was kind of leaning as well, just because, Tyreek Hill hasn't been much of a factor. Dak's been struggling as well. His backup / starter has been Richardson as well. He's been very inconsistent and injury prone. He had to sit DK Metcalf because of a knee injury. So,
which avoided a very serious injury. So DK is actually still going to play apparently.
Yeah.
So who are you taking? You're taking also Dan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. 2 for 2. We agree so far. It's a clean sweep. Let's go to another matchup. This is an important win. This is almost a must-win at this point between two of the bottom teams. John Dahlgren, 2-5, versus Mick Barton, 2-5. Boom, there's the flavor. Oh, and it does not look good for Mickey boy.
No, it doesn't.
John is favored to win by 20 points, according to Yahoo. And looking down his roster, Sam Darnold, who he just got in a trade from Jabel's team. That's been a nice acquisition. Sam Darnold has been one of the biggest surprises, minus that Jets game where he only scored 2 points, but he rebounded and put a decent 20-point game together. Brian Thomas Jr., that's also an interesting play in Jacksonville. Probably the most talented wide receiver of that entire core.
Yeah.
He's going against the Packers. That I don't think it's going to be a shootout, but Brian Thomas is definitely somebody that is generating a lot of attention and points. I mean, 20 points, 3 out of the last 4 games for Jacksonville. But again, it's Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So you got to take that into account. CD Lamb, that's his moneymaker. Against San Francisco, that's going to be a good game. I hope the Cowboys get trounced by the Niners on the Sunday night game. It's at San Francisco. So, they're going to be throwing a lot. Kareem Hunt, also been a pleasant surprise. Career resurgence going back to his old team.
Dominating.
And DeAndre Swift, who has scored 29, 20, and 20 the last 3 weeks. So DeAndre Swift is all of a sudden back.
Yeah.
Now, these are the question marks. Mark Andrews at tight end, Devontae Adams in the flex. Mark Andrews has shown that he is a 20-point ceiling and like a 0-point floor.
Right.
So what the heck are you going to get from him, especially against the Cleveland Browns? We're most likely going to run the ball a lot to Derrick Henry, I hope. And Devontae Adams, when's he going to start gelling with Rodgers? Only 7 points when he was on the Jets. Let's move over to Nick's poor team. He's finally benching Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Finally benching him, putting in Brock Purdy. Who had a stinker last week, too. Going against Dallas. I think Brock Purdy has a good game, actually. Garrett Wilson, again, what's going on in the Jets? Jackson Smith and Jigba, that's going to be a huge play if DK indeed is not playing.
Right.
Because he's been kind of an afterthought the last couple of weeks. I don't like his running backs.
I don't either. Yeah, that's a negative. Yeah.
Raheem Mostert. Now, again, with Tua coming back, that could help, but that's a crowded backfield. Devin Achane and Jalen Wright.
Right.
So I don't like that there. Really, his only bright spot is Trey McBride because Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't know what's going on there, but ever since week 4, it's been 5 points, 0 points, 5 points. So he scored a combined 10 points the last 3 weeks. So he went from his wide receiver 1 all the way down to the flex, playing him there. I think we might agree on this one. Who do you think is going to take this one, Bears?
Yeah, I have John winning this game pretty easily. Brock Purdy has nobody to throw to. Garrett Wilson, I do like the matchup versus New England. I think that's really mixed. Only positive, like you, I don't like his running backs. John's team with Darnold. I think CD Lamb coming off the bye week, the matchup, the comments from Aikman and all the other players. I think they're going to rebound or at least make, a game of it. Kareem Hunt's been a positive. Brian Thomas Jr. is clearly the number one. I think he's going to outperform Jackson Smith and Jigba. Yeah. And Mark Andrews has really come on the last 2 weeks. So
true.
I see that continuing. I think it's going to be an easy win for John. Yeah.
Me too. And I think he only has a couple minutes until that trade fails because nobody voted yes. Anywho, let's go to the sneakiest team in the league, Dak Street Boys. Holy cow, all the way up to second place. They are also 5-2, taking on Jable, who was at the top of the league, who's now fallen to 5th place. Yeah. And this is projected to be a win for Austin. Yahoo's projecting a 158-143 win. And boy, it's hard to argue with that, especially looking at Austin's roster right now. All cylinders are clicking with his big three, which are Lamar Jackson, who's probably going to be the league MVP so far.
Easily.
Bijan Robinson is actually shown up, and he's performing. Yeah. And Kenneth Walker the third. Now, he's got a Q tag on him.
Yeah.
But he's been phenomenal the last 4 games. I mean, 34, 50, or 34, 15, 20, and 23 the last 4 games.
Yeah.
That's not a bad combination there in the running backs. And George Kittle. Like you said, Purdy has nobody to throw to. Yeah. This is the guy. That's the number one guy right now in San Francisco is George Kittle.
If Juan Jennings doesn't play, then he's got Ricky Pearsall to start. Yeah.
Exactly. Guess who he's got in the flex? Juwan Jennings, not Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah.
It's funny. He got shot and he came back faster than Christian McCaffrey. So, I mean, that's not a bad lineup, but you're right. There are some question marks around Juwan Jennings and George Kittle because I know Kittle was fighting an injury as well.
Yeah.
With a foot sprain. So we'll see how that affects him. But again, there's nobody to throw to.
Right.
Let's go over to Jable's team now. Minus last week, Jaden Daniels had been his bright spot.
Right.
Totally proved everyone wrong.
Yep.
Taking him at that spot.
That was a great pick. Yeah.
It was a great pick. However, he got hurt last week.
Yep.
Only put up 5 points. So he's questionable. Should play. How will that injury affect him against Chicago Bears defense? We'll see.
Yeah.
Jable does have the number 1 overall wide receiver in fantasy football, Jamar Chase. So that's nice. He'll eat against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Speaking of Philadelphia, Devontae Smith, who is also very up and down. I mean, he's been banged up. Kind of just been very spotty, boomer bust. The first 3 weeks were great. Since then, it's been very inconsistent. Ramondre Stevenson.
He has a nagging foot injury. I don't like it. Devin Singletary, don't like it.
No. Look at Travis Etienne.
Yeah. Oh, he put Etienne. Yeah.
That's his running backs.
Yeah.
Jake Ferguson is a decent production at tight end, especially tight end because tight ends have been garbage this year. And then Khalil Shakir in the flex. I actually like that play.
Me
I like
too.
that even though they got Amari Cooper, I think
Shakir
benefits from coverage. All the top cornerbacks going over to Amari Cooper because now they have a legit number 1 receiver there. Man, it's hard to disagree with Yahoo again. We've only disagreed with Yahoo once, but we agree with each other. I'm taking Austin. Who do you take?
Yeah, same. I think with Lamar Jackson, any shortcomings his team does have, Lamar's production is going to cover any shortcomings. Tank Dell's playing the Colts. He could have a monster game. And I think if Jaden Daniels does play, I still think, he'll struggle a little bit, considering it's a rib injury. Won't be as mobile. And I think possibly, he switched him out. Never mind. But yeah, I'm going with Austin on this. I think there's just too many positives.
Yeah. Agree. 6-2 Austin Stoll. That's a scary thing to watch out for. Let's go to another game. This is Anu Roger Goodell, one of my favorite names, taking on Nick Shook, who is also struggling. He's got 2 wins, though.
Yeah.
He's in 10th place, which is nice. And he, unfortunately, is projected to lose big time by almost 30 points to the Doc, Anurag. And looking at Nick's roster, obviously a lot of that leaned heavily into the Nico Collins, CJ Stroud combo. Well, Nico is no-mo. And CJ Stroud is going up against the Colts, which is a very big positive for him.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about Tank Dell. And he's got Justin Jefferson. Now, Justin Jefferson, obviously a top receiver, not the top 5, but he's up there. Christian Kirk, I'm kind of, we were talking about Brian Robinson or Brian Thomas earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the better receiver than Christian Kirk, but he'll see some targets there. Jordan Mason's banged up too. He has not looked great the last 3 weeks after just starting out of the gates on fire. Has not looked great, but he'll play a big part in that game against Dallas on Sunday night. Najee Harris. This is a very intriguing thing. Now that Justin Fields is not quarterback in Pittsburgh, that means Justin Fields is not going to eat up those rush yards that were taken away from Najee. I mean, it affected him more than anybody. It affected him more than Jalen Warren. And is Jalen Warren going to warrant enough enough touches away from Najee to get him on the goal line? Because that's their goal line back is Najee Harris. So that's not a bad play, especially against the Giants. I think they're going to run a lot.
Yeah.
Here's where I don't like Evan Ingram.
Agreed.
And the NFL has officially suspended Jameson Williams. I'm just seeing this. So Jameson Williams is not even playing, so there's a big fat 0. No wonder the points were so low. Hopefully Nick will see this and be like, I probably should put in. He'll put in Nico. He'll put in Xavier Worthy. That's his only option is Xavier Worthy.
Okay.
And Worthy should get at least 10 points, but DeAndre Hopkins is now chief, unfortunately. Let's look at Doc's roster. Caleb Williams in Chicago. He's looked pretty good, especially the last 2 weeks. Very good, putting up good production. Drake London, top wide receiver. Malik Neighbors, suffering from Daniel Jones syndrome, and he had that concussion. Only had 8 points last week, but Breece Hall is looking to be the biggest beneficiary from this new Jets offense, this new scheme.
Agreed.
He's been a great player, and Aaron Jones has rediscovered the fountain of youth.
Yes.
He plays actually tonight. Tonight we're recording on Thursday, which is my birthday. Hopefully I'll have this put up tonight. He's going up against the Rams. I look for him to get a lot of points, and when I say a lot, probably around projected 15 to 20.
Oh, easily, yeah.
I don't like Dalton Schultz at tight end against Indy. They're going to be running a lot. Joe Mixon is probably going to run for 5,000 yards and 20 touchdowns against the Colts, so they probably won't need him a lot. He's mostly involved in short down situations, and they're probably not going to be a lot of goal line because they're just going to score from 50 yards out every play.
Yeah.
And speaking of Stephon Diggs, he's playing Schultz and Stephon Diggs for a very good
Smart move. Yep.
That Colts defense is absolute garbage. So Yahoo's got Anu. I'm leaning Anu. Who are you leaning?
Yeah, it's clear. It's Anu. I mean, CJ Stroud was just warming up the first time we met, knocking off the rust.
Yep.
So
that's true.
I just feel he's going to have an amazing game, and so are the rest of Houston. Sorry, Nick.
Sorry, Nick, indeed. Although he'll score 200 points when he plays me for some reason. All right, last matchup. This has been one of the biggest shocks to me. No one's had it more unlucky other than Nick than Joe Murdoch, who was easily in control of those first weeks, going 3-0. He has not won since. He has dropped 4 in a row, and a lot of that has to do with all the injuries that he's suffered. He's taken on Abby's Purdy Little Liars, but he is favored to win because Debo possibly will play. Olave will possibly play. Kamara will possibly play. Jonathan Taylor will possibly. If you look at his roster on your mobile app, it is all red. It's ridiculous. It's been bad, man. He's had a lot of injuries. Josh Jacobs in Green Bay, he had a nice game last week. He could potentially have another 20 burger there against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I absolutely see that happening. Again, for Joe, he's also getting the unfortunate up and down roller coaster season of Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it really was. He's only had 3 bad weeks,
Right.
but they were bad. They were like almost they lost him some games. That first one didn't, but the other 2 did. And he's going up against Seattle. I think he will put up his usual like 25 to 30. So I'm good with Josh Allen this week against Seattle Seahawks. Wow, yeah, there's just so many unknowns.
Yeah.
Like Jonathan Taylor, like how often are they going to run him, give him the ball? Like how healthy is he? I don't know. I don't think Joe's going to score 160, but I don't necessarily think he's going to lose either. So, but first, let's look at Abby's roster. Abby 3-4 in 7th place. Joe Burrow against the Philadelphia Eagles. Joe Burrow, again, minus that first week, has been pretty solid. He's putting up at least 20, 30, 40 points every single game. A.J. Brown is now healthy. And again, that's going up Cincinnati. That's huge. He has scored at least 20 points the last 2 games. I don't like Michael Pittman Jr. I said this very early on in the season. Yeah. Run away from Colts receivers unless Joe Flacco is playing quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah. Richardson's no accuracy.
I really hope he puts it together. That's all he has to do is just be accurate in like the 10 to 20 yard range. Yeah.
Yeah. Like in golf, he's got to develop a short game. Yeah.
Exactly. He's Happy Gilmore right now with the driver.
Yeah.
he's got to go with Chubbs to the putt-putt course and fix that short game.
Exactly.
Damn alligator bit my hand off. So then also, there's some other good players here. Brian Robinson Jr. and Joe Mixon. I like that combination the best. I think he's got a better running back core than Joe, even not just because of the injuries. Alvin Kamara is the number 1 overall running back, by the way, for Joe, which is incredible. Talk about another resurgence, but I love Joe Mixon this week against the Colts.
Oh, me too.
And I just think he's going to have a monster game.
Monster.
Abby's going to need it to make up for Michael Pittman Jr. and Tyler Lockett, who's also boomer bust. It really depends on how heavy DK's involved, if at all. He did not have a good game last week, but the previous 3 weeks, 11 points, 16 points. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's what you want in a flex position.
Yeah.
And David Njoku, Jameson Winston is starting. And,
I wonder how that's going to work. I don't know.
He's coming off a 24-point game last week in Cleveland. So, with all that being said, Barris. What is happening here? My at-home studio is falling apart. Who do you have this week, Joe or Abby?
I have Abby just because of all the questions. I don't think Olave or Kamara are going to have great games. There's no Derek Carr this week again. The positives I have are, with Debo, I don't know what's going to go there. I think in his backup, I saw it's Cortland Sutton, and he wasn't targeted once last week. So I just think, he's got too many negatives right now, too many questions, too many unknowns. I got to go with Abby's team.
Man,
yeah.
I swear I thought we were going to disagree on this one. I thought you were going to pick Joe. I was going to pick Abby too. So that we agree on this one. There's nothing more entertaining than us just echoing each other and saying the same thing. Oh man, that's great.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Oh, hello. What's going on?
Whoa.
So, Barris, do you have any last words for the league? Thank you for doing the rundown. Any feedback or any last words going into this week?
No, I just I'm excited to be in again this year, and
you're in it. You are in it.
Just in the conversation, and it's a lot of fun. Thanks for doing these videos. It's fun.
I appreciate you at least watching them.
I do.
I do. This is a labor of love. I say it all the time. I'm not doing this for anybody other than just making this league different, more entertaining, and more involved. And
Did you ever figure out?
Do what?
Did you ever figure out who the people are watching? You said there's like a bunch of.
Yeah. No, I have no idea. Probably bots, I assume, or I might have said something like, I don't know, like Kamala is fill in the blank. They were sicking the watchdogs on me to make sure. Maybe I just said like something that sounded like Kamala.
Yeah.
Kamala. Like, do we cancel him because he says what we don't like? Oh, never mind. He's just an idiot. Okay, we'll let him go. So, yeah, good old YouTube. What a bastion of freedom of speech this has become. All right. Oh, I might get canceled because of that.